Game week 1 in the Premier League is over and done with, so I thought we'd go over the G League, how well I did this game week, as well as a few other things. So let's get straight into it. So yeah, for a first game week, I don't think this is too bad actually. 59 total points I got. 54 was the average, so I'm beating the average, so that's always a good sign. But yeah, if we go through my team one by one, this was obviously the team I eventually decided to go with for game week 1. Pickford, it was so close to being a clean sheet, man. He was so close, but then obviously Leeds got a late penalty, and then, yeah, but that ruined Pickford's clean sheet points. I'm surprised he didn't get any save points, because in that first half, Everton won on the ropes a bit, so I'm surprised he didn't get any save points, but oh, well, it is what it is. We had the Kuiper here for Brighton, 2 points for him. He played the full 90 minutes, which is nice, and of course for a budget option of 4.5 million, not too bad, but yeah, I expected a little bit more, to be honest. Mikalenkovic, Nottingham Forest, only 2 points for him. That was a bit unfortunate, especially considering Forest had a clean sheet for quite a while, but then Brentford ended up pulling one back in the end. But yeah, Gabriel was 6 points. I was a bit disappointed with Arsenal, because yeah, Man United were definitely had them, I wouldn't say on the ropes, but the Man United were definitely the better team at stages. But thankfully, Arsenal managed to keep a clean sheet despite playing poorly. And then Van der Ven, another 4.5 million option, Tottenham defender, not too bad. Of course, kept the clean sheet against Burnley. You'd expect them to anyway, so makes sense. Salah on here with 16 points, of course. I mean, he didn't even have the greatest of games, Salah. But he always seems to manage to get his goal, and thankfully he did. For me in the end, of course, El Capitano for this game week. Saka did nothing, unfortunately, because like I said earlier with Gabriel, Arsenal they weren't the greatest against Man United. They really didn't play at their best, but they still managed to get the job done. Palmer, I was very disappointed with. Very, very disappointed with Cole Palmer. And I actually, while I was watching this match, I heard a stat that said Palmer hasn't scored an open play in the Premier League since January. So if that stat continues, I think he might have to come out of the team. Probably Matasar, a good decent option there. Of course, he's only like 5 million, and he plays at with the current injury to James Maddison, he's currently playing as an attacking midfielder. So for 5 million, I think it's a very good option to have. João Pedro, a bit disappointing with him. He didn't manage to do anything against Crystal Palace. It was a bit of a boring game, to be brutally honest. Pretty poor from both teams. Ekitike, though, on the other hand, 11 points from him. He had a superb game week, and we'll be getting onto him later on once I talk about like players to target for game week 2 and stuff. But yeah, on my bench I had Kingski. He's just there for vibes, basically. Doniel Mallon with 1 point. Yeah, but unfortunately he only came off the bench in that game against Newcastle, but this is what it is. Hopefully, with obviously Leon Bailey leaving them for Roma, with a bit of luck, maybe Mallon might get more game time, but we'll see. Guiu didn't play for Sunderland against West Ham, in a very good result for Sunderland, by the way. West Ham were dreadful, but fair play to Sunderland. They did the job. And then Hartman, yeah, he's just there again, there because he's budget, 4 million, Burnley defender, pretty much going to start every week. So, yeah, he's just there for the crack, basically. Now, if we look on over towards the G League, you can see that, yeah, Pakash, you are top of the G League. Pakash, if you know who you are. So if you're watching this, then shout outs to you. You got 73 points. Let's have a look at your team. Oh, hang on, I'll have to switch to, where was it? This one. 73 points. So yeah, you got David Raya, Chalobah, Trippier, and Shaw. Interesting. Yeah, 73 points is really good from you, Pakash. Smith Rowe, a bit of a stinker there from you. Oscar Bob, Saka. I'm not going to try and pronounce that guy's name. Ayari. Yeah, I think that's how you say it. Lucas Bergval, Jokeres, and Holland as your captain. Your bench is a bit weak, but having Nick Pope on your bench is a bit extreme. I'd say downgrade on the keeper, but just to save some extra money. But yeah, you do you. But yeah, Pat Cash is top of the G League. I need to really turn it around. So yeah, let's go over the players to be targeting for game week 2. Actually, no, hang on. We've got to look at the team of the week for game week 1. So yeah, if we look at this, David Raya got 10 points. Daniel Ballard of Sunderland got 17 points. And he's only 4.5 million as well, and getting 17 points is absolutely immense, especially for someone who plays at centre-back. And yeah, of course he got a goal, which obviously helped him a lot, kept a clean sheet, so yeah, those points just rose up. I'm pretty sure he got all 3 bonus points in that game as well. Calafiori, of course, got the goal against Man United. Ended up getting 13 points. Rico Lewis with 11. Semenyo with 15. Mohamed Kudus with 10. I was tempted with Kudus, but I didn't put him in the end. Reinders, 10 points from him. That's really, really solid. O'Reilly with 10 points. Richarlison looked really good against Burnley. I mean, he scored a red kick. And then he put a tweet out or something saying about the World Cup being less than a year away. We have Richarlison with 13 points, Chris Wood 13 points, and of course Haaland with 13 points. I might try to maybe find a way to get Haaland and Salah in my team, but I don't know if it's going to be possible. But yeah, now that's done. Let's get over the players to target for Game Week 2. So yeah, new section of this these FPL videos, guys, is where we're going to be looking at players to look out for in Game Week 2. Now, these two in particular, Ekitike and Daniel Ballard, of course, they had very good Game Week 1s, as we've just seen before. Of course, Ballard playing for Sunderland and getting a very nice 17 points up against West Ham. And with the current fixture coming up in Game Week 2, Sunderland have against Burnley, of course, a fellow promoted side, which, with how Burnley struggled against Tottenham, you'd think Sunderland could maybe get a few points there, potentially. But the only question is, will Ballard still be starting? Because obviously Sunderland have brought in Nordi Mukiele from PSG. They're still interested in bringing in John Lucchemi, I think he's called, from Bologna. So it'll be interesting to see if Ballard still remains one of the starting centre-backs with them two coming in. But, well, one of them's confirmed to come in, the other one's rumoured. But yeah, if he does start, then of course it is a very good fixture for him and could definitely get a few more points in there. And of course his form's obviously good, 17, because obviously it's only been 1 game week. But yeah, he's a very good option. I'm surprised his price didn't go up. It couldn't like with Ekitike, because his price has gone up to 8.6 million after them 11 points he bagged against Bournemouth. But yeah, they've got a kind of a difficult fixture coming up against Newcastle, Liverpool, Newcastle away. But of course there might be a bit of an atmosphere there, considering if you've been living under a rock, then you wouldn't know that Isak's been obviously linked with Liverpool and hasn't played for Newcastle since all those rumours. So yeah, it could get a bit tasty there, but I guess time will tell in that regard. But yeah, Ekitike, if he can, as long as they don't sign Isak or whatever, then I think Ekitike is a guaranteed player to be having in your team. If you can't afford Salah or whatever, then I'd say put Ekitike in. Because, yeah, I honestly think he's a better option than Wirtz or something. As of right now. But of course, if they sign Isak, then yeah, it's going to be a bit tough for Ekitike. And then moving on to 2 other players I wanted to mention, and that was Antoine Semenyo and Tiani Reinders. Now, Reinders, 5.6 million he's worth now in FPL. He's gone up by 0.1, got 10 points against Wolves. And considering he's playing in the deeper midfield position, he looked very, very promising. I mean, obviously he got a goal, he got an assist. Not too bad at all from Reinders, and yeah, they have got Tottenham up coming up next, so that could be a bit of a difficult game for them. But you never know. I think if they continue the good form that they're showing against Wolves City, then you just never know. But obviously the problem is with City, Pep roulette. But I imagine with obviously Kovacic still out injured at the minute, then Reinders will still get the start, and of course Rodri is still getting back to fitness as well after that horrific ACL injury he suffered last season. So time will be tell on that one. And then of course Semenyo, he went up to 7.1 million after, despite them Bournemouth not getting a result against Liverpool, obviously Semenyo still delivered, getting 2 goals against them with 15 points. And it all came after he suffered a horrific racial abuse from some fan in Liverpool end. Yeah, I just don't understand it. But anyway, that's another matter entirely. But yeah, Bournemouth have got Wolves coming up, and I'd honestly say they're a team to target. I would honestly say Wolves, Burnley, West Ham, and Brentford are teams you need to be targeting. If you're not going to bring in any of these players that I've mentioned, then just get players that have got them teams coming up. So if they're playing against West Ham, Wolves, Brentford, Burnley, I'd say get those players in your team. As I'm looking at the fixtures here, I can say Chelsea have got West Ham on Friday. So yeah, I'd honestly recommend, if you're thinking of similar to me, if you want to take Palmer out, I'd say keep him in for this, because you never know. Palmer might actually end up turning it on against West Ham. Considering how bad West Ham were against Sunderland, then you imagine they're probably going to struggle just as much against Chelsea. And then, of course, we also have Wolves obviously playing against Bournemouth. So, yeah, like I'm saying, Semenyo, he could do the business there. Aston Villa have Brentford. So, yeah, I get any Villa players in, like Ollie Watkins. I think he could do a good job against Brentford. And then, of course, I'd say maybe target against Everton as well. But, of course, both Leeds and Everton weren't exactly great last night. So it's still a bit, the jury's still out on both of them. But yeah, honestly, who Brentford have? Yeah, Aston Villa, and then Burnley obviously have Sunderland. So honestly, I'd maybe get like one Sunderland player in, maybe get like Mayenda or something in potentially. Arsenal have got Leeds, so I'd say probably maybe get Saka in because I don't think. Yes, Leeds were able to perform well against Everton, but yeah, it's Arsenal are different, different gravy. You know what I mean? They are different gravy, and yeah, I honestly say those are the teams you need to be targeting. West Ham, Bournemouth, not Bournemouth, West Ham, Wolves, Brentford, and Burnley. Those are the teams you need to be targeting. Of course, the jury's still out on Leeds and Everton, but of course we'll know for sure after game week 2. But yeah, that is where we're going to leave this video for today, guys. I hope you have enjoyed it. If you have, feel free to give the video a like and subscribe to the channel if you're new. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on Thursday for Game Week 2 predictions.